All right. Trying something here. See if I can make any sort of transcription video that's not, total junk. Pretty new to trying to do all this just from scratch, so I kind of just thought I would document it for you guys and kind of tell you about it and describe my experience as I went, because I think you guys might like that. Here we go. This is I'm a Spy. ... for Security Hall. Is from Sonic Adventure 2. I've been looking for a song from this game to do for a long time. Recently stumbled upon this one. Now I'm going to try and figure it out. I will admit I have spent about 5 minutes on this already, maybe 10 minutes. That's when I decided I should be recording and kind of let you guys know about my process. I had this at 80% speed, so. I know it's in G minor. So that's kind of the basic idea of the groove here, and I'm mainly going for the bass line right now. I'm going to do the melody and the horn shots and everything else, and the form will come sort of as I go. The bass line and doing all this will inform the form. So let me see if I can get this going here. Alright, so I got this Guitar Pro, because that's a program that real jazz players like me use, is Guitar Pro. Just kidding, no. This is, Prog 101 program right here. Let's start. I'm just going to enter a few measures here, kind of fill up a bit of space, get my format going. It should be 4 measures per line. Yeah, good. Okay, it's called I'm a Spy. I'm a Spy. ... for City Hall, I think. I think it's kind of like the way that video game song titles work is they have to put the level name in it. So they have, this one's I'm a Spy. All of the songs on this album have this format of one name, ... and then for something. So it's probably the name of the song is I'm a Spy, and then it's for Security Hall, which is the level. Okay, so we got I'm a Spy for Security Hall. And it's in G minor. We got, how long is this intro? Let's see, where's the bass come in? 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. Yeah, so that's kind of the basic groove, all right? So I kind of want to just really, actually, I was going to say I want to dive into the details and figure out specific variations and stuff, but honestly, I should avoid that for now. The old 80-20 rule I've been trying to follow a lot is you can get 80% of the work done with 20% of the effort, and that's kind of the bulk of the easy stuff in the structure, and you can get most of the song done that way really quickly. And then, it takes 80% of the effort to get in that last 20%, which is the details, which is why I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to save that till the end. I was figuring this out on a 4-string, and it has this kind of root 5 motion. Root 5, 5, 6, 5 in a G minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 5, 6, 5, 1. That's kind of the thing, but that feels too high. Maybe that's a G, right? So maybe if I did it here, it'd be a little thicker, a little bassier. Right? That kind of works. Or the other thing is doing it here, which is why I got out my trusty 5-string, right? Which is pretty fun. I kind of like that. But I feel like something I like to do a lot just in my bass playing is use both ideas to develop the song. So I got a high one. We got a low one, if it's on the right note. Right, so I'm going to put in this low one because I kind of like that. Do. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and boo, but boo, boo, boo. So that's going to be like that, I think, not a triplet. A lot of this working on Guitar Pro for me is kind of guess and check sometimes. Do. There should be a do. do, da, do, boo, ba, do, ba, do, ba, do, do. See if that sounds like that. It kind of sounds like that. Although this sound is a little slap bass. Let's try modern, maybe. Maybe I need to like up the dynamic here just to make it a bit more aggressive. That's okay. That was right. Da 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 ka do, da da, bum ba ba ka bum ba ka ba da na. Let's do this. Those would be 16s. And then we go from the 5, both on the 5th fret, but also the 5th of the scale. 6, 5. That should be it, right? Boom. Except I did that on the wrong string. 5, 6, 5, 5, 6, 5. I have been learning a lot more about writing music on Guitar Pro with just the music, like without using the tab, because I've been just, you know, for writing horn parts and arrangements and piano and stuff is like the tab just gets in the way. But I'm writing a specific bass line, and, you know, when you write just the notes in Guitar Pro, it takes a lot of liberties with fingering and the fretting of it and the position playing and all that, which I'm pretty specific about. So I'm just going to use the tab to make sure it's indicated in the way I want it to be. It's pretty close, I think. So we got that. We'll do the same thing for the other one. Okay, so I can kind of see how this bass line, why it was doing that. So that's kind of the way I'm rationalizing this bass line right now. Let me just listen back to that one more time. I want to hear it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think this is good. I think I might have heard one other little variation off the top of my head. I'm just going to add to this. And it's going to be up here. Yeah. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think that works. Metronome is like obnoxiously loud, isn't it? How long does this go? Let's look at some of the form here. All right. Oh, and I did that in the intro. Another 4. What section would that be? The A? We'll call it the A. Ooh, little. Maybe it's still the intro. That's all the head, probably. Now's the A right in there. Here we are. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, okay, it wasn't 8. It was just 4. Good thing I checked that. Good thing I'm paying attention, folks. Da-na-na-na. And then I'm just gonna put the head here, or the A here, because that's where the melody is gonna kick off. So is that gonna be like a G7 with that minor 6 in the bass? Nope. It's actually just gonna be an A flat. Is that going to be like a dominant flat 9, maybe? Or, what would that be? Could be that. Come on. Voicings here. You know, I'm sure somebody will tell me how incorrect I am, but I'm trying here. There's a couple little notes that are off there. Definitely lands on that E flat. I said A flat before, didn't I? It's an E flat. I feel like I almost hear that, but that could just be my bad instincts for this. Okay, all of this stuff aside, I'm just gonna try and get that rhythm in there for the structure. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Is that just chromatically? I just need the rhythm for now. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, 4. Tie it to a half note, and that should be good, right? Alright, that's as far as I am. And I think I got, yeah, that's kind of about there. Right? Like, that's as far as I am in the song. So it's all just melodies and stuff at this point I gotta figure out. So copy this 8 measures at a time. So here, here, and Okay, so that was the 8, and then the singing comes in, right? Let's go 8 here. We'll put vibe, because that's a vibraphone melody. And we'll do it again, and we'll put add singing. Should be still the A section, probably. Keep that just so I know where we are. Here's a different part. I'm going to call this the B. And then into the bridge here, or the C. Which same rhythm, but different chords. Looks like back to the A, but there's like all these doubled horn parts. Yeah, and then again with the back to the singing thing, right? And now it's a little more like solo-y, a little more variations in it. A singing. Ooh. And there's like a D section. That was nice and short, actually. That was only the 4 measures there. Maybe that's a bridge. Okay, call that there. Insert. We're just gonna... We got an A, we got a B, we got a C. Keep myself a little bit organized here and call it a D. Bridge. There's a second, like, almost bridge ahead in this. But it's a different progression. So I'm gonna have to redo all this bass in the Guitar Pro here, but I'm really just, again, trying to get the form here. So, okay, let's go back to that bridge. I think that's this part. Yeah. Back to the C again here, and then it repeats. Yeah, that's right. I guess maybe the C is kind of like that head figure, hey? When I'm first writing it like this, I'm kind of just putting the first things, like, I'm just putting them in order that I see them. They don't always occur that way in the song, so I'm gonna probably go back and, like, maybe restructure things a little bit once I get everything down. But I just know that the end of my chunk here is gonna be this. Right? And then that will be the A again. No, that's the B. Okay, so let's listen to this whole thing again, and I'm going to follow along on what I've written to just kind of make sure we're as right as I can be. Get rid of the multi-track view just so I can see things more concisely. Oh, not multi-track, but the tab. 4 measures of the intro, now we're here. Here, and here. Okay. Here. Now here. A with vibraphone. Shots at the end here. Now singing. Kind of same part again, right? But it like kind of doubles in texture. More shots probably. Here, and now here. Now go into this other jam. This is kind of something that only like occurs that one time. I'm going to enter in those chords for the C. Actually, no, I'm going to do that after. That was the C section. Now we're back in the A, right? Which has now a counter melody to it. I'm just going to actually put that in. Because it is like the same vibraphone part, but it feels like counter melody, like with the horns. Little shots development. Now we're here. Yeah. and everything kind of opens up a little bit, that vibraphone. We're here, and here, now. See, what's this bridge? Bass licks. Now this is B. We'll treat that as a B anyways. That's right. I just want to see the melodies on this last part and the first time that B happens, because it's kind of weird. No, this is the singing A section right here. 49 seconds. Okay, so that B at the end is not the same as the first B. Or at least the melody is doing something different there. Maybe the chords are kind of going the same, but I mean, there's really some emphasizing some like kind of interesting color, especially on this measure, the third measure. So I'm gonna do something weird here, just again to keep myself organized. This isn't gonna be the final thing. I'm gonna call this the head, which is separate from the intro before everything comes in. And then here, this is gonna be the head again, head out. Yeah, so I guess maybe it actually just repeats from after this D here, right? That actually makes sense. If I get rid of all of this, watch. Control delete, folks. Hotkeys. So yeah, if we repeat from there to, you know, here, obviously, yeah, then there's that. Boom. I mean, we don't really need to indicate the repeats there, I don't think, at the end. But let's do it. Yeah, not bad, hey? I think this is working. Look at all my things are just evenly fours. I like that. Okay, we could probably work on some chords now, hey? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try and figure out the chords here. I know it's going to be G minor a lot. It's really just like the C section, I think, is something different. But I mean, the melodies are going to also indicate some stuff. So I'm just going to get like root note chords. When I do the melody, I'll come back. G minor 6. And then what's that? That's going to be, and I just realized that I have those as incorrect notes. But I wasn't sure. Like I said, we're doing details, sort of are the first priority. Gonna be that 6th chord, right? I mean, if we're in G minor, that's gonna be our Lydian. So we could do like a G sharp 11, maybe like a G7 sharp 11. We're gonna call it an E flat for now, even though I think it's well, it's not gonna be a G chord. I suppose that should be like a move I'm familiar with, eh? Sounds familiar, very jazzy and familiar. I just gotta find whatever the chords are, but you know, we'll figure that out at some other point. So I'm just gonna put an E flat here. It's like literally just G minor that whole time. Maybe that you could like consider that to be that chord, or even. You could think about that as like a 5 with a flat 9. I just need that one other section, right? Put this back up to full speed. So this part has chords based on the melody, which is going to be, that's the B I just was listening to. Figure that out for a sec. Interesting, because there's like a D harmonic minor scale almost going on. Does the bass like conflict with that note? That's a strange note. That third one, it's spicy. Pretty cool. I don't know how to explain it, but I think I'm understanding something. Okay, so one thing I was wondering if it had this, because just staying on G the whole time is a little lame, right? Sometimes. But I mean, that's a cool bass groove. And like all the horns and the singing and the vibraphone and like the drums and percussion, it's all super cool and adds to it. But I feel like having a 1-5 motion might be cool, like G to D, you know? And I was thinking about that throughout this whole thing, like, and it would be like G to D2, kind of like G2 D2, like he's a little trash can robot music maker. But it would be this fast, right? So if that's a G, then that's going to be like a D Phrygian. Again with that flat 9, right? So it's like I have a D minor, flat 9. Let's try that. Okay, and then that would be like on every measure. And then so for the C, or for this B section here, if the chords are going like G, D, D, G, G, something like that, where it has those two chords, then at least those other notes could be explained by the D harmonic minor, because then that chord will be on a D. It'll be a D minor, so the harmonic minor would be very cool. I think I'm trying to explain things away that I'm just not sure about, though. I mean, what I call it isn't ultimately that important if we know how to do it, right? That's the next part. C. I really think that that's probably what's going on, okay? So I'm going to come in here quickly. I'm just going to put in those chords all over. G minor 6 to D minor. First one's going to be the 5. And the second one will be a 6. And then the third one will be that sharp 7. Or natural 7, I suppose, you know. And then the octave. And goes back down the natural minor, not the harmonic minor, which is cool. Little resolution out of that, you know? Oh, I put that in the wrong place. Okay, G minor 6 is supposed to be half the measure. D minor 7. They're not all flat 9 chords. I'm just doing that to illustrate that it's a Phrygian there. You know, the third in the key helps me remember where I am, because, you know, a lot of these jazz skills are not things that I've had to professionally use in like prog rock bands and prog metal bands and, you know, the odd country band here or there. So I'm kind of figuring out a lot of my own like dichotomy as I go and trying to learn from, you know, certain people that I like to learn from and things like that. So G minor 6. Yeah, pretty sure it's just going to do that this whole time, right? So that's going to be, again, my B section. Yeah, that'll be fun. G minor 6. Next half of the measure. D minor flat 9. And that's going to be like the same exact thing for the second half. If I do a special copy, okay, Control Shift Copy. And then I do Control Shift Paste. It's going to ask me what I want, and I'm just going to click on the chords here, because I don't want it to do the section. Ba. And since the tab and the music is the same, I don't have to worry about that being different, because it's just copying the same thing. Okay, and then this part is, I feel like I might have that second chord wrong. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So we got that. That is going to be our C section, right? Yes. Although I don't have any of the bass done. 2, 3, 4, 1 chord per measure. Sounds good. So first one is going to be G minor, and then we're going to go to B flat, right? G, A, B flat, B flat. And that's going to G minor. Ooh, that's our relative major, right? Yeah. This should be, again, like your D Phrygian, but it'd make a cool D7. Let's see. Even like a D9 or some junk. That sounds like a D minor to me. D minor, we'll just leave that. Again, our special copy and paste, and then it goes back to the A, right? And then a D again, which is like a different D than before, which is why it's called D. And we'll investigate that a little further when we get there. Let's see. We're in the A counter melody here. A singing. Bridge. Yeah. And that's a... Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna plug that in real quick. 1, 2, 3. G minor to the E flat. G minor, E flat. And then this should all just be like that same bounce, right? Okay, so I got my A sections all chorded out, and I think that's pretty much my whole song structure now, hey? Like, this would be a decent lead sheet, I think, for this song. I guess I gotta plug in all the chords here still, and a couple of those endings, and yeah, I'm gonna figure out all the shots and the counter melodies in the part 2 of this video. Yeah, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed a lot of this, trial and error, writing a jazz arrangement from a prog guy, or doing some transcribing, I guess, is the way to think about this. Transcribing. Hey, thanks for watching. Stick around for part 2. And, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like, if you caught any mistakes that I made or any tips that you got from me, feel free to leave them in the comments. You can tell me how bad I am at finding those, E-flat chords or whatever it is. Whatever you want to let me know, you just let me know down there. And, yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one where I'm going to figure out all the melodies and the counter melodies and that kind of stuff.